What's going on, y'all? So, the go home show for Friday Night Smackdown. It wasn't bad. It was actually quite good. You know, it's hadn't been a long time where we got a proper good Smackdown and Raw good go home shows, and this did not disappoint. It was a go home show, so that means it wasn't too much, build up here, as it was the day right before, Cardiff. I think Clash of Champions starts at 1 here on the eastern side of the world. So, but yeah, so they started off with the Viking rules match, the New Day versus the Viking Raiders, and the Vikings rules match, which is just a extremes rules match, or with false counts anywhere, implications. So therefore, it was implications. It was no, there was no tagging in and out. They were just free. It was also it was a mixture of a lot of things, like a tornado tag with extreme rules, false counts anywhere type thing. So it was a combination of all that. And the match was good. It got a good proper time too. It was the first 19 minutes of the show was the match itself, and it got a good proper match, good spots. There was either a power bomb through 2 tables, but which is called the Ragnarok, basically from the Viking Raiders. There was great spots from Eric and Ivar and the New Day themselves, and they tore the house down. But the Viking Raiders, as I was mentioning about the powerbomb, would use that and get the victory here over the New Day, standing tall. And I actually want to see this version of the Viking Raiders go up against the Bloodline, because they pretty much, other than Hit Row, they're probably the top push team right now. We got a backstage promo with Shayna Baszler being interviewed, and she basically just said how she's gonna basically tear and rip apart Liv Morgan to basically force her into giving up her championship, submitting. And then Liv Morgan would interrupt, saying that she's not scared of Shayna Baszler and that she's actually gonna rip her apart. And they ended it with them staring each other in the face, with Shayna Baszler saying, "I would like to see you try," and she said, and Liz hitting her signature quote, "Watch me." Right after that, we got a Karrion Kross promo where he basically he said this is a time of reflection. Drew reflecting on the humbling beating he got last week. Roman reflecting on his 2-year dominance, but it still doesn't matter. Either way, TikTok, he's coming. And it reflects. He said something about reflecting on Drew Gulak, on the beating he's about to give Drew Gulak, and that's his opponent for tonight, which actually goes into the next match, which is Karrion Kross versus Drew Gulak, which was basically akin to a squash match. It wasn't a local competitor. It was Drew Gulak, though Drew Gulak did get some offensive in, but it was just more like, when he got his offensive hits in, it was more like Karrion Kross going, come on, yeah, hit me. Yeah. He was taking them. But yeah, he would hit the cross jacket, which is his sleeper hold submission, and get the victory here. And look dominant and good while doing it. Glad to see that he actually, we don't got Gimp, Karrion Kross. We got Scarlett with Karrion Kross, and he comes out NXT style. That was the entrance I always wanted when he came up to the main roster. Unfortunately, Vince McMahon changed that, and I'm glad Triple H made it right. We got a promo for Ronda Rousey. Basically, this was her determined fate promo, and basically she had a letter that she made Adam Pearce come out and read, to which that letter just revealed that even though Ronda Rousey did have some misconduct, it was never a point of a criminal, which they said her being arrested last week was unwarranted, and that though she will be on probation, her suspension is lifted, and she is brought back. To which this prompted Ronda Rousey to tell Adam Pearce to kiss her. and Adam Pearce just lost it. He exploded with frustration and anger. Cause he basically was saying he was tired of the disrespect, tired of the fact that everybody keeps disrespecting him, and nobody thanks him for the fact that he has to do the job he does on 2 shows. The fact that he got to babysit people like Ronda Rousey and everybody else who keep disrespecting him. Nobody in the upper management thanks him. And he said he said regarding the decision and stuff, he has no problem with the board. He said he has a problem with Ronda. And he said everybody called Ronda the baddest woman on the planet. He said you're just the biggest on the planet. This would piss off Ronda to where Ronda would put him in the arm, or flip him, put him in the armbar, and pretty much probably got resuspended again. This will lead into the third match of the night, which was Hit Row versus Maximum Male Models. Now, surprisingly, Maximum Male Models actually looks good as a tag team in this match. Now, the promos and all the stuff they do backstage were complete utter trash. But when they actually get in the ring and actually wrestle, it actually looks good. Because both Hit Row and Maximum Male Models looked good here. For some reason, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo wanted to get involved. They tried to get involved, but then B-Fab would kick them, and it was just a whole thing with them. And then Hit Row would eventually go on to win and dominate and beat Maximum Male Models. But like I said, surprisingly, they looked good here. I'm actually want to see more of Maximum Male Models in the ring, not in the promo section, but in the ring. Then they would get into a little brawl again with Humberto and Angel Garza, to which it became a 4-on-2 attack, and then the Street Profits will come out to even the odds, and they were saying Angel Garza and Humberto and the Maximum Male Models are running. What way they intercept me? It was good. It was good. I was trying to figure out if there was anything more else to say. I'm just like, no, that was it, pretty much. We got the next match, which is Baron Corbin versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Though it was framed as an open challenge because Baron Corbin, they wanted to talk to him about the recent his downfall slope with his matches. But then he said, you know what, he don't live in the past. He's happy, and it's just an open challenge to anyone who dares step through that curtain to face him. And it would end up being, like I said, Shinsuke Nakamura. They did have a good match. It didn't get as long as they was running on time. They had to get to the Roman Reigns celebration, but it still was a good match in itself, and Shinsuke got the victory here. I would say the main event match, even though it wasn't the last thing on the card, but the main event match, as I call it, was Butch versus Ludwig Kaiser, and I am so happy that Butch, or Pete Dunne, looked like Pete Dunne, but they still call him Butch, but they allow him to come into Pete Dunne. He competes now in the Pete Dunne outfit and looks like Pete Dunne, but still go by the name of Butch. And thus, it kind of makes his name being Butch more tolerable, because I could get past him being Butch, but he still like Pete Dunne and wrestles like Pete Dunne. And the match was great. The match was good. I enjoyed it. And Butch got the victory here. And Gunther and Sheamus almost brawled, but they actually, Ludwig pulled Gunther away and saved it for tomorrow, or today when you're seeing this. And now the main event, or the main event promo, as I call it, was the Roman Reigns celebration. Though, as we all suspect, and come on, you have to suspect it, the celebration got drastically cut short. All through the night, they've been having these, like they did with Drew McIntyre, I think the previous week. All through the night, now they were showing these Romans through the 2 years of becoming champion, his dominance over those 2 years. And then the Usos and Sami Zayn all through the night was getting the stuff prepared. Sami, who was basically calling himself the host of it, got flowers from carrying dead rose flowers from carrying a cross that said TikTok. I'm trying to think. Yeah, then Sammy and Jay got into it backstage because Jay thinks Sammy is like basically getting too comfortable and overstepping. But Jimmy cooler heads, keeping them not from arguing. Either honorary Uso, they get to the celebration and they basically run through Jay is fun comically with Sami Zayn. They run through how Jay says along the lines of Roman over these 2 years Roman Reigns has beaten everybody. And then Sammy, you would have these little moments after he'll say something. Sammy will go preach or he'll say yeet and yeah. And they just like, what are you doing? Stop it. Just stop it. And then they said, stand up on your feet, throw your hands in the air, or the ones in the air. And they introduced Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns his music didn't play, but they cut to the Titantron. He pulls up, get into the truck. He gets out the truck, get ready to make his way to the ring, but he would get Claymore kick by Drew McIntyre. And that was pretty much it for Roman. He was like left in the back, laying on the ground. No, I guess because he got Claymore kick, he got Claymore kick right into the truck. So I guess that done more damage. And then he would come out and beat up on basically Sammy and the Usos. Though I kind of think this was like pre-recorded. Like the backstage part was him and Roman, because it was like, who stays back on the floor down like that for that long? You could have came out and helped, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wasn't. But I mean, I know it was pre-recorded because at the time of the show, when the show aired, they was already on their way to Cardiff. Or in Cardiff. So I know the whole show was pre-recorded, but I feel like that backstage segment part of it was pre-recorded. But yeah, Drew McIntyre would come out, beat up Sami Zayn and the Usos, putting Jimmy through the table and Jay through the barricade, laying Sami out, and then he basically declared that he would never stop and that at Cardiff he will be the new undisputed champion. And that was your show. Overall, good show. Didn't have no problem with it. It was good for the go home show. We had good matches. I was not upset with anything on the card. Good match, a great way to start the show and a great way to end the show. With that being said, I'm gonna give it an 8. Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 just because it was good. I enjoyed myself and I really had no problems with it. What really got it an 8 was that first match. That first match was good enough for me to give it an 8. Other than that, everything else without that match, like had that match been anything else, it would have got a 7. But I gave it an 8 just because that first match with the New Day was actually a good match, and I didn't think I was going to actually enjoy it. But the length they gave it and the actual presentation they put into it, I'll give them an 8. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought of Friday Night Smackdown. And if you enjoyed this review, you hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoyed the video so much and want to support the channel, you know what to do, guys. Hit those buttons. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go anywhere because I got gameplay, reactions, and this review. So yeah, peace.